are waiting. So thank you all for being here. In this video, I am going to talk about all the tempting things that the Van Noort catalog has for spring 2022. All the perennials and things like that, and the dahlias. This is where we buy all that stuff. But Ian's here.
Yep.
So first we're gonna hang out for a little bit before we get to.
You are no longer tempted because you put in your order.
Well, there's this thing.
And this temptation.
I just put in another order if I decide I want more stuff.
Yeah, that's what I tell you.
And then add it in. Yeah, I was like, Ian, should we get this? Ian, should we get 400 of this? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, whatever, maybe more than that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, thank you so much, Black Dog.
Thank you so much.
So generous.
Starting off with a bang.
Now, well, there you go, Ian. More money to spend.
Oh, no. Well, how much did we spend? Well, 2,600 Canadian?
Without taxes.
Yeah.
So it's like probably, and I think maybe it was like 27. So it's like over 3,000 now.
You know.
Well, I was like, Ian, how much money am I allowed to spend? And then he was like, I don't know, I don't care, because he's bad influence. And then I was like, 10,000? Am I allowed to spend 10,000? And he's like, sure, I don't care, 10,000. But now I'm like, I don't know, is that enough? Right? Because in that budget has to be all the bulbs too.
Mm-hmm. But you know what we're gonna make money on this year? Our seed garlic. we're not gonna plant out a bunch of garlic this year. We got way more seed garlic than we thought. So, judging by how hard it is to get, your orders in and stuff for things this year because of all the shortages, we're gonna put a bunch of the seed garlic up for sale locally. We'll probably be able to.
I was clearly nervous
for it easily.
I was clearly nervous.
Yeah.
About what it was gonna look like.
But last year, the seed garlic that we ended up getting was like tiny. It was really bad, and then we got the horrible drought in the spring, like even before the heat wave, and so the garlic that we grew this past year is pathetic.
Well,
and now this year the seed garlic is nice.
But I want to clarify that the seed garlic that we got last year, the heads were tiny, but the cloves were a good size, right? Because the heads were 2 clove heads. But that is what would have made they were good sized clove for planting.
But they didn't have a lot.
And then we
cloves per head.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of cloves per head, which I think is why I bought as many as I did. Because I was like, if there's only 3 cloves per head, and I need an infinite amount, then how many should I buy?
So we're just kind of getting back in the swing of things with making videos again after a bit of a hiatus. We don't really have answers yet on Serena's medical stuff, and she's definitely still not feeling 100%, but her lifestyle changes, which is basically diet and drinking tons and tons of water, have helped her to feel better, at least, to not go crazy from not eating for a handful of days in a row. It's a bummer, but we're able to deal with it now a little better, and it's like pushing the pause button on it while we get some answers, hopefully coming up in the next little while. But
what do you mean?
Well, you're not getting worse. You've gotten better.
Oh, okay. So I'm like, what are we pausing? I thought
we're pausing you being sick.
Yeah. Okay.
That was pause.
Yeah. No more of that. Thank you.
Yeah.
We paused.
Turns out that's all you had to do. I didn't know the pause button. We lost the remote.
Story of our life.
Yeah. So we have 2 vlogs that we filmed and that we're starting to try to edit, and
we released a video today.
Yeah. And we had really big ideas for Halloween, because the tough thing about Halloween is if you're gonna get a video that's gonna do anything for Halloween, you have to film it, before Halloween, so you can edit it and release it before, at least a couple days before Halloween, to let YouTube do its thing with it. But that also means being super on the ball, which is tough. It's tough to be on the ball.
For us.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you know, we're gonna do something, but I don't know if it's gonna be.
Oh, for Halloween.
For Halloween.
Yeah, I have an idea. Ian doesn't see the vision yet.
She has to convince me.
But it's because I'm like, it's like this, and he actually has never seen the thing I'm referencing, so it makes sense that he doesn't understand. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and then we're gonna do like a
horror harvest.
Yeah, horror
harvest.
We just signed up for. This is a big news for us. We signed up for Epidemic Sound so that we can get some different music in the mix. We never would have, except we're gonna start trying to put our content on Facebook a little better. Like right now, things automatically link to Facebook, or Facebook automatically posts when we post a video, and it links to YouTube. But we're going to actually try to upload to Facebook separately, which means that we can't have videos that have the free YouTube music, which is all the music that we've used so far has been like music that's provided by YouTube that's copyright free, and they were really updating the catalog kind of like in 2020, but 2021, they've only put out a handful of songs, and none of them are really useful for us.
See, not a problem for me because I'll just use the same song over and over
again. But creatively, it gets a little bit stagnant.
Ian likes the choices.
Yeah, but at the same time, we were just worried about stepping into like copyright quagmire by, doing these epidemic sounds, because there's always these horror stories about copyright claims and stuff.
But what's the point about the music?
We're going to be posting on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Separately.
Okay.
And so we're excited about that because Facebook doesn't really push out content. Like here's a YouTube link, it doesn't care, right? It's like, I don't really want people leaving Facebook, so nobody's going to see this. But if you put up a video as a Facebook video, then it's like, I'll show this to everybody. So we're hoping that maybe that can help grow an audience in a different location, which some of the other creators that we communicate with have said has been good for them. And that would be good for us because, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to make these videos. So it would be nice to get more people seeing them. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Lisa. I'm all blind, so I have to lean in to see the stickers.
In other news, it's been like this for a little while, but I am currently beardless and kind of sad. But I was having some real like skin issues. I've had a dry skin spot for probably about a decade now, and then I don't know if it's the mask. It can't really be the mask. I only wear a mask for like maybe an hour a week.
Yes, masks isn't what caused your decade of dry skin.
No, but it was like spreading all over my face, and it felt like I wanted to scratch my face off, and so when I don't have a beard, I don't have those issues, which sometimes I have to shave my beard when I'm up north, because I'll work on these big oil patch facilities where they're like, you have to be able to put on a respirator and get a clean seal. And I'm like, I am sitting in a piece of forestry equipment, and like we don't even have a Scott pack on our little site, and there's no buildings because we're cutting down trees. I can talk.
I know.
I'm rambling. It might be a ramble, but it's very interesting.
I'm just like I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I do think that you're saying like you're definitely using like specific to your industry jargon.
Some people know what a Scott pack is. If I'm even saying it right, I don't know. Like a scuba tank, basically. But
here, let's do a vote.
No, let's not. So the point is that I have. Like, I do kind of periodically shave my beard, and I know the itching goes away. But now it's just gotten so bad that now I'm living like this for a little while. And, I don't think I look like a weirdo, but I don't think I look as handsome either. And Serena certainly doesn't, right?
I like the beard.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the beard.
I'm a bit self-conscious without it sometimes.
Really?
Yeah. You made me like that from telling me how much you prefer my beard.
Well, apparently I didn't make you enough self-conscious.
No.
Because there is no beard.
Yeah, and then everybody's been like, "Ooh, you do look younger like that."
Yeah, my family is all like, because Ian's like old dog, right? He's got the gray.
Yeah.
Gray in the beard, but he doesn't have it in
the hair yet.
In the hair, so without it, there's no gray.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
like the gray.
We're talking about doing a little trip out to the Vancouver Island next month, which we're kind of excited about as well. And I was excited thinking about it because it'd be fun to make a little travel vlog. You know, it's not really what our channel's about, you know, but like I did that travel to Vancouver video where we were showing off BC earlier in the season, like it was like March or something like that.
Yeah,
when I went to
all
pick
the
up
Coquihalla stuff.
Yeah, and that was really fun to make, and so I was thinking about taking the kids on the ferry out to the island and stuff, and
yeah, because backstory, Ian and I used to live on Vancouver Island.
Mm-hmm.
That's like where we met, and since we left, we pretty much never gone back. Yeah, because it's a hassle to get out to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's expensive and difficult to get to an island, which I think is.
And we never go
story
anywhere.
Of all islands.
We never go anywhere. We don't do anything anyways, right? This is essentially our social time. The rest of the time is just me and Serena in a room or outside, or one of us is outside, one of us is inside, and that's just life. Yeah, entirely.
But the island is really beautiful.
It is,
right? Like, and having lived there, we've seen parts of the island that are super beautiful. So it'd be exciting. It's exciting to go to show the kids. Like I was saying, I don't know that the kids like have been to an ocean if they played on
multiple times.
Florida.
Yeah, and
but it's different. No, but they haven't been down to the ocean in Vancouver. They haven't like played on like a Pacific coastal beach.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's a unique thing. It's not a like sun tanning on the beach vacation type thing.
No, it's like put on your wetsuit and dip your toes in the water.
Yeah, or like it's about exploring all the cool stuff that's like alive on the beach. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I used to go swimming all the time in the ocean. I lived along the coast for a bunch of years when I first moved out here. Because I lived in the Gulf Islands, which are like if you're in America and like the San Juan Islands, it's kind of like the same island chain. Just that the border between Canada and the U.S. splits it, and I lived on just a couple islands up from the border on Maine. And after work every day, I did construction. I just go out to Potato Point, and we'd strip down into our underwear and jump in the water, and you wouldn't stay in there very long, that's for sure, because it's cold. But it was fun.
Yeah, I don't want to go in the Pacific Ocean.
It was cool because if you went at night sometimes when like the lighting conditions, if it was cloudy, it was sunny during the day and then cloudy at night, then there'd be the phosphorescence in the ocean, like all the glow.
Yeah, which is cool. I've never seen that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I'm Edward Scissorhands.
You are? I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I'm fresh faced. Because he's all like clean shaven. Oh. Very good looking. That's what I assume it means.
We are working on merch.
Yeah.
We're for the only time in our entire lives that we've been organized. We actually are early enough to get merch designed to be able to have it get into the store, to be able to have it available for Black Friday.
You say we, but it was all me.
Can I make more of a face here?
Probably could.
Ian's involvement in the merch is that he tells me what he thinks would be a good idea, and then after I get the merch, after like spending hours hunting to find artists and like do all the communicating, he's like, I don't know, I wouldn't have done it that way. Ian's contribution. But once it shows up.
Oh, look at that. Somebody thinks I'm funny.
Once it shows up, then he's like, okay. Like, I'll wear it.
I do have to admit, I am very funny.
Well, I think you're funny too, obviously.
I have a comedic disposition. You know, I think that, I mean, I was always kind of, I was a class clown through all of school.
I thought you were going to say something about my merch.
No, nothing about your merch. I'm talking about me. But when I went up north to start working in forestry, I remember working with this one guy, and like the company that I worked for was basically all natives, and I was like this like little guy from, you know, like the biggest city in Canada area. You know, I wasn't from Toronto, I was from the Toronto area. And then here I am in the middle of like northern, well, not in the middle of, like way up north in BC, almost in the territories, working with this native company. And, you know, like the natives have like a very, it's kind of like a, you know, like they're always ripping on each other type culture. And there was this one guy, and when you were around him, it's just like he was always looking for like some sort of angle to like go after you, and you had to be very defensive about what you said because he just like rip into you all the time. And from him, I just learned like that you always have to be looking for a joke, right? Like you have to always be kind of looking for some sort of comedic angle to things.
Oh, I thought what you learned from him is you should always be looking for ways to rip into the people that you hang out with all the time.
No, I think I would have done that anyways. But you know, like I've always thought back to that guy, and I was like, oh, I can't remember what his name was. Just remember working with him, and I was like, you had to be on your guard about the words that came out of your mouth, because any like badly phrased thing, and he would just go off on you. And you know, the delivery was amazing because that's all he was ever looking for, was like a way to rip on people.
Well, when you have a talent,
yeah,
you should share it with the world. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but my merch.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, because should we tell them what it is?
Yeah.
So
because like I need a bit of insight. I think I'm gonna do a community post soon, sharing like some ideas.
Why don't you bring it up on your phone?
I don't know why. We're talking to my phone.
Yeah. So it's like she got this cool little drawing done of one of our like farm stand displays. So it's like the farm stand.
Yeah, it's like our farmer's market.
Not the one in front of the house, but the farmer's market stand
display.
With like the tent and the sign, and then like the flowers on the one side and the veggies on the other, and it looks really nice. You know, my only critique was that the colors would have been a little different if I had done them.
That's okay.
But that's okay, because I think it still turned out really nice.
Yeah, because it turned out exactly like what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and
I think that, like, you know, I am, like, when I choose these artists to do the merch, you know, obviously the most self-indulgent merch that we've made so far is the Team Flowers and the Team Veggies. We, you know, obviously we wanted you all to enjoy it,
yeah,
but it was 100% exactly what we wanted it to be.
Yeah, well, we've talked about this before, but it was such a great, you know,
yeah, it's so funny.
completion of this like thing that had been making me laugh for years and years. I just loved it.
Yeah. No, but you know, like I try to make sure, I try to think of the merch as not exactly what I want, but what I think you guys would like.
Yeah. And I think that this little...
And I also try to make it different, right? Like I want every single design that we do to have a different look. Right?
Somebody's
Because
knocking at our door.
Because just because you don't like the one doesn't mean you like... Oh, there's a little monster.
Can I have the milk, please?
Okay,
Okay, but I'm gonna come back and I have more to say about the art.
Do you actually, or
yeah,
can I get to? Okay. Yeah, no, but so okay. So the thing that I'm gonna make like a story about, but you guys, I do want to get to this. we are getting a little bit distracted because we haven't hung out with all of you guys for so long. It's fun to hang out, with Ian here too. But so what we have is the farm stand. It's like an illustration of it. But I'm wondering if because part of the thing we want to promote with the channel is to support local farmers and stuff like that. So I was wondering if we should have something written on it that says support local or eat local or support local farmers, something like that. So yeah. So I'm interested to know what you guys think. About if it should say eat local, right? Or if it should just be the image.
Yeah. So I think we told them what it was. Yeah, I think it's gonna look really good on shirts.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be unique. I've never seen a shirt with the cute little farm stand thing going on.
Yeah, because we have the one we have the illustration of the farm, with the house and the farm and the greenhouse and everything, which is classic look. We use that as a backdrop all the time in our videos, but this is another thing that we know that you guys enjoy seeing the market part of the videos so much. So
some people have showed up to the farm with Team Flower and Team Veggie stickers on their vehicle.
Well, one person.
Yeah, that's some. Yeah. One is some.
But they look so good. I was stoked to see them. It was fun to see.
Because there's designs that I think look better on T-shirts, and there's designs that look better in stickers. I think that the market stand's gonna look good on both.
Yeah.
Especially just a little.
Well, no, Ian, you're making a joke.
I'm making a joke,
okay.
But I do.
Because Ian doesn't want T-shirts. Ian doesn't want T-shirts with a picture on it, right? So I'm well, you're instantly not our customer because we're making shirts with a picture on it. But he's oh, make the picture just tiny, and it's
But
that's not the point.
I know that a lot of other creators make a lot of stickers, and people really like the stickers. So what I was thinking would be super genius for sticker ideas, or just to get some art done and stuff, is some of the really nice looking bouquets throughout the season that Serena has made, to get an artist to turn those into a little design, and then to get those made into stickers. And then we've got all these different bouquets, because people are always oh my god, I love your flowers. If I was there, if I lived in the area, I'd buy all your flowers. I'd come by and buy flowers all the time. So then you can buy a little sticker that is the little bouquet. I think that would be fun.
Yeah. Considering I laugh, we go through these live videos and we like talk about merch all the time because we really, really like making the merch because it's fun.
I still want to make one. It has nothing to do with our channel, but it's just like a hot pepper and it says spicy on it. Because I just want a shirt that says spicy with a hot pepper. That would be a conversation starter.
I'll make you one.
Spicy.
I'll make you one. I'll give Leah some jiffies.
You could do it with Canva art.
Yeah, I can.
We can make that one ourselves.
But are you gonna pay $35
for my spicy shirt?
For a shirt that says spicy?
I don't know. Depends if other people want a spicy shirt as well.
Because I could make you one for just you, but it'd be expensive.
Yeah, I think the world wants spicy shirts.
I don't know.
Because it's such a fun word. Spicy.
There's the potential in the future.
Yeah.
Potential in the future, for sure.
So what did you buy?
Do you have it? Okay. So what I was gonna do, what the plan is, but now we're 25 minutes into the video, and I know Ian's gonna be it's 7 o'clock, cut off the live video. But yeah, so okay.
Yeah, see, spicy fans. Oh wait, we haven't done it in a while. Team Flower versus Team Veggie. You gotta represent.
Okay, you do the call out.
Okay, come on, Team Flower. We haven't done this in a while. Where's my peeps?
Okay, so in the comments, if you're live on the video right now, let us know where your loyalties lie.
Yeah.
Give us either a Team Flowers or a Team Veggies. Let us know what you like. Team Spicy. There
Team
you go.
Spicy, yeah. I think Leah has inherited a good dose of the comedic instincts because she is quite the little character. Oh yeah, Team Flowers running away with it. Just be careful because our router's back there.
Yeah, no, don't play with all those plugins and stuff. Please. Yeah, you're playing exactly where they are. Yeah, the
Team Flowers is winning.
well, it's kind of good.
Team Spicy Flowers.
It's kind of good if Team Flowers is winning because kind of part of like what I want to talk about on this video is the extension of what I was talking about last week, which is the fact that we're talking about just doing the flowers next year. Though I feel like I think we're kind of like leaning more to we're gonna do mostly flowers, but we are gonna have carrots and we are gonna have salad mix. Right?
Yummy, kill
Yeah.
it.
Team Flowers plus veggies.
Yeah, and we'll still have content to share on veggies
Because
we'll still have like a 2,000 square foot veggie garden just for us. We'll take a big chunk of the farm to grow food. For us.
It's not even like we're not gonna go full on into the veggies again in the future. I think what it is we just maybe don't want to overcommit ourselves.
I need help
for next year since Serena had kind of 2 big bouts of health problems this year that were very hard to deal with. And next year we won't have our same employee, so we're not gonna. More of the weight would fall on my shoulders at that point in time.
Yeah, or I like the way I'm thinking about it is that it's more we can't keep doing all the stuff that's not making money, right? Like that's kind of like we can't work as hard as we're working and not make money, right? And so that's kind of what we really did this year, and we've like said no, like we can't do that again.
Yeah.
Right? And so like we've already made all these decisions to scale back stuff that wasn't making money, that was like a lot of work.
Yeah.
To choose to be able to put our labor into stuff that we think would have better success. And that's what the flowers is. The flowers have done really well. If we just scale back the labor on doing the million things and we focus more in on the flowers, that will make it so that we can do the flowers well, and then next year we start reintroducing stuff, and we're more strict about only reintroducing the stuff that is going to be work that is going to benefit us, right?
Yeah.
It's been too frustrating this year with the veggies because we love it, right? And we never feel like
Serena keeps talking about how the veggies are selling less. They're selling almost the same. We sell. This is very consistent and it's very accurate. The percentage. 2/3 of our sales by money at every market are the flowers, and that has happened almost exactly every single market that we've done. 2/3 of the final sale number, is flowers. From the roadside stand so far, the number is more like 85% is flowers.
Or higher.
Or higher.
Right? Like this week, so our flowers are dead, and this week we've like sold hardly anything.
Yeah.
On the roadside stand.
We sold almost $1,000 last week from the roadside stand. And
more than that. Right? Because last week was the thing.
Last weekend. Just the weekend.
Oh, okay.
And it's almost entirely flowers. It was like Serena was making flowers and putting them up there. So it's not like we have chosen this path. It's that people really like these flowers, and the $20 bouquets are just selling like hotcakes. So it's hard to ignore that. And for a year when like I'm worried about Serena's health, it's like it just makes sense to maybe scale back a little bit on some other stuff since we are going to expand with more flowers so that we can sell more bouquets, right? The more bouquets we bring. But I also think that we are reaching the upper limits of what we can sell on that Saturday market. There's only so many flower customers to go around, and we have multiple other flower farms, that we compete with every week. And, I think that the percentage of the market that we have this year is like way bigger than the percentage that we had the previous year. But even still, like those other farms, they're still going to sell flowers. They're still going to have their customers.
I like, Ian and I have been talking about this a lot, and my thing, which like we're not going to know answers to these things that we're thinking about until we do it. But my thinking is that maybe some of these customers who've been like regular $20 customers are actually have the potential to be regular $40 customers. We just haven't been able to bring down these more expensive bouquets because we're just too limited in space.
Yeah.
Because the veggies take up so much space. The veggies are a third of the sales, but they're 2/3 of the display space.
They're also the majority of the customers. We sell, like, if you look at the number of customers, it's probably 3-to-1 customers of veggies to flowers. And it's like, I can be selling and selling and selling the veggies and selling and selling the veggies. And then a group of, young women come up and each of them buys a bouquet. And there's, in 2 minutes, I made as much as selling for, 25 minutes, just, going crazy. It just happens so fast. And it's like, this one bucket of flower bouquets is $80 or $100. And then it's like, I look at the pile of carrots and I'm like, that's like, if I sold that entire giant heap of carrots, that's like $40 or something like that, right? So,
and the other thing is like, and I see some of it in the comments here, and it was definitely in the comments after the last live video, where everyone's like, oh, there's gonna be food shortages, things are gonna change, and like that may be true, right? But until there's food shortages to the point that people are committed to buying local, right? I think there needs to be more people who care about buying local food before it makes sense for us, right? Because like we can grow food for the locals, but if they're not there to buy the food that we can grow, then we can't afford to do it, right?
Yeah. And like another example would be like, I'm selling garlic, right? $2 or 3 for $5. Somebody comes up and is like, oh, how much is this? And I'm like, oh, $2 or 3 for $5. And then they're like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna pass. And
our seed garlic cost is like $1,000. And that's what we need to plant into the ground to harvest garlic.
But here's the opposite point. The $20 bouquets, I haven't had a single person this whole entire year when they're like, how much are these bouquets? Are these all the $20? And I'm like, every single bouquet is $20. Nobody, not a single customer this whole entire season, in all the bouquets that we've sold, has said anything about the price being too high.
The only, last week on the weekend I was with Ian at the market for, quite a bit, probably 3 hours. And okay, as I was there, I did actually hear people say stuff about the flowers. They were like, I'd pay more for this.
Yeah.
Right? Like there wasn't a single person who was like $20, I'll pass. Anyone who asked the price bought the flowers.
Yeah, they were just asking because they were already intent on buying. But
yeah. So
my point would be that flowers. You don't need flowers to live, right? Well, like, some of us kind of do, but you could live without flowers, but you can't live without food. But people's value perception is different for the flowers and the food, and people are so price conscious for the food that charging anything over grocery store prices, like, just offends them, right? They think that you're trying to rip them off or something. And I don't even think that for a lot of our stuff, like, you could shop our stand and
A lot of our prices are grocery store prices.
and yeah, do very well for much higher quality produce, grown in a proper way, right?
Yeah, it's like our bags of salad mix are like consistent with like organic lettuce in the grocery store, but like no one's ever like, oh, what a deal. Everyone's like, oh, $5. And it's like, yeah, like you pay $10 for those like tubs in the grocery store. Like, and this is like, buy 2 of these, it's the same as a $10 tub.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think that compared to like pricing for other farms for a bunch of our stuff, we're either 100% the same as them, or even in some things I think we're like lower than them. And it's not like we're not selling. I just think that we also have a higher value on our time maybe than some other farms. Because we are like, we need this to be a successful business so that we can make money. And
I think that they're diversified in ways that aren't the way that we're diversified.
A lot of the farms also do things like CSAs, which we don't have, right?
Yeah, and they're not doing the flowers. The flowers take a huge amount of time, but they're they're working for us. This is my thing. We sell our carrots for $3 a bunch or 2 for $5. Our bunches are equally as big as everyone else's bunches at the market. Everyone else sells their carrots for $4 or $5.
The bags are $10 at some spots.
Yeah, but they're bigger, right?
I think that they are equivalent to our 2 for $5.
Yeah, so our carrots are like super cheap compared to everyone else at our farmer's market. We don't sell out of carrots, right?
We usually
we can, but it's not like we sell out of carrots before the rest of the carrots at the other stands start to sell. And so just let me finish my point. And so if we're not selling out of our carrots, which are way cheaper than everyone else at the farmer's market, that means that people at the farmer's market aren't price shopping, right? They're not choosing our carrots over someone else's carrots. And we all grow the same carrots, and all of our carrots taste delicious and wonderful.
Yeah,
right?
All the other farms are great.
Oh, they're all everyone's stuff is great. Our stuff is great. Our stuff is great too. It's not like our carrots don't taste good. And that's why they're not selling.
Yeah.
Right? So if we're selling for so much cheaper and we're not selling out, then that means that there's something else going on in the farmer's market.
Well,
and I'm not done my point here. And the other part to it is Ian, like, I've been really frustrated with the food sales, and Ian's been, making me realize that the food sales are comparable to what they are last year, but we had all of last year that we were selling, right? And we were selling our carrots for that price, and everyone else was selling their carrots for that price. So now we've had 2 years, right? Like, if the food was making sense, we would be selling more food because we would have gotten those customers in the last year, right? It doesn't make sense that we aren't growing in sales with being at the farmer's market now, more long term, having more recognition. And to me, that means that there isn't more food customers at the farmer's market, or if anything, maybe there's less food customers at the farmer's market.
Yeah.
Right? And if that is the case, then we aren't currently in an economic position in our market and in what we're doing to really fight for that food customer, because I'm not going to grow for free, right? I personally, if people have money and they don't want to buy our food, that's fine. If I was going to grow for free, I'd give it to the food bank, right? And then at least it's going to people who couldn't afford to buy it if they chose to, right? Like, I don't feel sorry for people who could buy our food and choose not to.
Yeah.
Right?
Somebody's asking how many veggie vendors are at the market. There's got to be 10.
There's 2 on every row.
10. I'd say at least 10. And then there's also fruit vendors, because this region is known more for growing fruit than it is for veggies.
Yeah. I think that there is 9 like veggie, like people similar to us. And then there's also vendors who have veggies to go along with their fruit. What? Do you think you can have my cell phone?
It's the live video.
Yeah, and then like most of the market is fruit people, and a bunch of them will sell. They'll have a few veggie crops that they do along with their fruit.
So one of the points that the veggies always fight is, and this isn't a bad thing. This is people being, trying to do their part. Is that lots of customers who are the regular customers to farmers markets want to buy something from every single farm, right? They're like, oh, I'll buy my beets from you because your beets look great today, and then I'm gonna go over to this other farm and I'm gonna buy my bag greens from them, and then I'm gonna go to this other farm and I'm gonna buy my carrots from them, because they have personal relationships with all the farmers, right? And
they want to support.
They want to, my position isn't that I want to get all of their money.
Yeah, no, we're not competing.
I want to make more of them, right? To make more people who shop at the farmers market. Not to.
Yeah, no, we're like everything that I just said isn't. I'm not like saying anything against the fellow veggie vendors.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and I think they're all right to sell their carrots for more money than us. I don't know why we haven't brought our prices up.
It's mostly because I don't want to deal with people giving me a hard time about pricing.
But yeah, right? Like, I think the issue is there needs to be more interest in supporting local food.
Now,
right?
the difference maker is I'm actually really excited about the farm right now, because on the property here we are almost done all of the things that we want to do in the 5-year plan from my position, and lots of the huge big expenses have already been taken care of. Like some of the last major things to happen are that big greenhouse, which we've already bought.
We paid for.
It's already on the property. It's just we haven't set it up. And then like a wash station, more professional wash station.
Yeah.
Which isn't like a huge money investment. And
irrigation upgrades.
And irrigation, which we already have.
Well,
it'll cost.
We have some stuff, but yeah.
The point is, well, also, and then with our house, there's only one project left that I really want to do with the house.
Electrical upgrade.
Oh, well, there's 2, I guess.
What do you have planned?
Well, I want to do the floor in the kitchen.
Oh.
We have the worst tile in the world in the kitchen. It's so.
But that's not the farm.
No, but that is like this whole property. I'm just saying we're almost at the end of the journey of like getting all the projects done, and then this having the roadside stand done now, just to start cultivating the customers that drive by is amazing.
Yeah.
Because well, I think that starting early next year, we're going to be selling stuff from there like crazy, and then there we might see the ability to grow food, right?
Yeah. And the thing that I want to say that kind of expands on what Ian was saying, which I mentioned in the previous video, all that infrastructure that we've built, the stuff that's completed, the stuff that's done, is the infrastructure that's perfect for doing flowers, right? Mm-hmm. The infrastructure that we're missing at this point is the infrastructure for doing veggies, right? Like we have our outbuilding, I was actually watching a video from last year, and I was like, oh my god, it looks so good in there now. It's ready to be able to do events. It's ready to be able to do classes, which is easy with flowers, right? Offering like a make a bouquet night, right? That's that building is ready for that. The walk-in cooler, that's going to be super valuable for doing flowers at a larger scale, and then the roadside stand to make it so we can sell lots of flowers quickly and easily to our local customers.
Somebody
I saw it. There's been lots of comments.
How old do you think I am?
Okay, no, let's do this. Who is older? Me or Ian?
Oh, and what are our ages?
Well, no, because people, if
Really?
it's me, I always get intimidated because I'm like, what if I say too high or what if I say too low? But okay, who do you guys think is older? Do you think I'm older or do you think Ian's older? Which one of us do you think is 56?
Yes. And is that a trick question?
I feel like everyone actually knows how old we are.
Yeah, because we talk about it all the time. Maybe somebody was taking notes in some of our other videos.
I know. I can't even remember how old I am. I always forget. I have to like do the math. I'm like, if I was born in this year, and then I forget what year it is. I'm like, it's 2022 because I keep talking about 2022, and that's not. And then
everybody's saying me, but I don't know in reference to what.
Well, there someone says you're 36.
Oh,
No, that you're
that's so
older.
nice.
Because I asked. Oh, I thought. Oh, okay.
33.
I thought someone said that I was 25. I was like, whoa, our cameras aren't as good as I thought they were.
Maybe it's doing that weird Photoshop thing that your phone does.
I know, my phone, I try to like take a picture on the selfie mode on my phone, and it has, I'm like, what happened to all the blemishes on my face? My phone's broken.
Yeah. For the record, I'm 41.
And I'm 37?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Serena is not one of those perpetually 29.
No. I quite often say I'm older than I am. Literally. Because I forget.
We just don't, neither of us are the type of people that pay attention to that type of stuff.
I'm too busy to look in the mirror. I don't care.
Yeah. I've never known anybody I've never known anyone remotely like Serena. And neither of you. No, there's no other Serena on this planet.
I'm sure there's another Serena. You could say I'm 1 in a billion, and that means there's at least a couple of us.
But I didn't say that. I said you're the only one. You're the only Serena. I've never met anyone else like you. And you just don't care. You don't care about... She doesn't care about what anyone else thinks. I think you care maybe what I think. But
yeah, obviously I care what you think.
But other than me...
Because your opinion matters.
Yeah. Like, if somebody was like, hey, Serena, you smell and you look bad or something, you'd be like, cool story.
Cool story, bro. That's what I'd say.
Yeah. Like, you're just like...
Well, I mean...
You're covered in rain.
No, but if like someone was like, you stink, I'd be like, I've been working in the field all day. What do you expect me to smell like? You know?
Yeah. So, yeah, like that's made life fun to be with you because you're not.
Makes doing YouTube easier.
Yeah. we gotta have the thick skin, right?
Yeah. But I don't know. Like.
Oh, somebody says that you remind them of their friend.
Oh well, there you go, Ian. I'm not
making
one of
a liar out of me. Oh man.
You know, this is like my opinion. I'd say this is like my overarching opinion. I would rather be the ugliest person in a room than the most beautiful person in the room. Because why wouldn't I want to look at beautiful people? Right? You know? Like, I'm like, well, I don't have to look at myself. Right? So obviously I'd rather be like the worst looking. Because it means I get to like hang out with all these babes.
Your opinion, man.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. It's my opinion. But like, you know, I'm not going to be offended by someone telling me I'm not the most beautiful person. Like, I know, I got eyes.
But you are beautiful.
And I'm beautiful on the inside. Except for the part that potentially has something wrong with it.
Yeah.
But hopefully that doesn't look as bad.
Give me some of them still shots of that scope.
Yeah, I have to get like a stomach scope thing done to find out just how beautiful I am on the inside. But
okay, you know what? I'm gonna go check on the kids.
Well,
why don't you actually do some of the content?
Well,
we talked about
because we've like run out of time. Literally, it's like, so we can just like finish this up. Okay, so guys, I apologize.
There's good stuff.
We're not gonna do this, but I will do this. I'm gonna do this next week, and like we can finish up talking a bit about like the idea, right? Because one thing that I did want to talk about with talking about this is right because like I did so to hype next week's live video.
Oh, somebody must be your doctor because they say you're beautiful inside and out. They've already checked.
Yeah, so we're buying a lot of perennials, and this is the catalog, and it has like pictures. So I was gonna like go through and show you guys pictures of everything that I'm buying.
There's gonna be a few more minutes.
But we put together an order and put in an order, and what it had like was it 1700 or 1800, and about 500 of that was lilies. So we're buying a good number of perennials next year.
You're buying more of your terracotta.
Yeah, more yarrow,
which were amazing.
Yeah. And
they're going to be even more amazing in their second year.
And I also I've like new yarrow in a greenhouse overwintering. I'm starting to put together seed orders, and I'm like, more yarrow seeds. I have to like check because I'm pretty sure every time I order seeds, I'm like, more yarrow seeds. Send me another 1 pound bag of yarrow. I'm like, it's like an infinite supply. But yeah, definitely there's more, and I'm excited. Like I feel like we have a good plan going into next year for doing just the flowers, right? For the perennials. But the other thing I wanted to talk about when talking about this, which I think is a good time to talk with you, is with you here, because I was gonna, before I got into the perennials, I was gonna talk about the fact that we aren't getting dahlias this next year, which Ian knows we are getting some dahlias.
Yeah, we're
but normally this order that I do, this like spring delivery is like mostly dahlias, because we've been getting the dahlias for doing the nursery sale.
And we're not doing the nursery sale, which is very relieving because it was so much of a time commitment. But we're still going to have more time doing other stuff. It's just that we won't have to do that extra bit of selling to a totally separate customer than the rest of the season. It's like we were running two different businesses. Yeah. Well, 3 different businesses, because there's also YouTube, nursery sale, and then all the farming during the summer. 3 totally different customers, 3 totally different, focuses. Just too much. Yeah. Just too much for us.
And one of the most difficult parts is the nursery sale is actually like all the work for that is at the busiest time of year for the farm.
Yeah.
Because it's like getting that early going in the season is like some of the busiest, longest days. Someone was asking, so what this is, which I'm going to talk about next week. This is Van Noort, who is it's a Canadian wholesale like flower and bulb seller.
Yeah.
And so this is where we buy like our tulip bulbs, which we got all our tulips that showed up yesterday. Yeah. But yeah, this is where we do a lot of our like, wholesale buying that isn't seeds, more of like plants and stuff.
Yeah, like live plants.
Yeah.
And we're still gonna have dahlias, and I know you're still gonna pick from the dahlias to make bouquets on occasion. Like you'll be like, oh, here's some stuff that will look good in a bouquet. I know that's still gonna happen. It's just that we can't buy from Van Noort the quantities of dahlias for just having some here and there. And I more want like a variety of different stuff, because
you mean like we'll buy some
like
at a
locally,
hardware store,
yeah,
or
exactly.
Like at the nursery, yeah.
And we'll grow them, and that will be our dahlias. We're getting lots of other stuff that'll be new and exciting as well. It's just we're not going to go hard into the dahlias because they just didn't have a good year with the heat, and they're a bit hard and fussy to get to produce like we want them to.
I'll give a little bit of context to that. I saw someone asking, so you have to order at least $500 per order with them.
But their quantities.
And their quantities are large, right? So like some of the stuff that I bought, like a single pack is $100.
Yeah.
Right? So
because you're actually buying, when you go to a store and you see like the cardboard sleeve that has all the dahlia tubers in them, you're buying, that's
Yeah,
one.
you're buying the display.
You're buying the one sleeve that is filled with tubers. And it's like, how many sleeves do you want, right? So that's where things add up. Because, you know, I don't want 20 of the same dahlia. I want a few of as many as possible.
Yeah,
more so.
Exactly. Like a home gardener.
Yeah.
So, okay, so the context to what we're kind of talking here about the dahlias is, and this is going to be a backstory just because I think it needs a little bit of context. So last year we bought a ton of dahlias. We bought I think we had 200 that we bought. Yeah, like 10 packs. We bought 200. And dinner plate dahlias. We're like, oh, the dinner plate dahlias are so incredible. And then we sold half. We sold 100 and we kept 100 for ourselves. And we planted them out and they looked incredible. It looked like, because imagine like 100 dinner plate dahlias. But they were a pain in the butt. They were too big and they only keep for, they don't have a great vase life. So they're not really a good market bouquet flower.
Yeah.
So they, we grew them. We liked having them for the YouTube, right? Because they look so beautiful on camera, and we liked having them for us to just enjoy. But they didn't make sense as a flower crop. And Ian fell in love with them. Ian was like, no. He was like, no, it's not an option. We need to have them.
Yeah, I put a ring on it.
So the plan for that last year was that we bought 400. We bought even more, and the dinner plates, because they actually had sold really well. We'd sold out on them when we only had the 100 to sell. So we were like, okay, we'll go with that. We made money on that. And it did quite well. We didn't sell all of the ones that we bought. But whatever was left over, we planted around the farm, and we had, there was all these yellows left over. So we had this beautiful hedge of yellow ones.
Yep.
And then Ian was able to keep one or two of every single of the different colors to get his own personal garden out of all these bulk orders that we've done and sold in the nursery sale. And then what I did for the flower farm is I did some research on which ones were going to be the most productive for stems, which were going to be the easiest to grow, best for a farmer's market bouquet. And so I was really picky, and I grew 100 of them, of these ones that were supposed to do really good for me. And then they didn't. They were as much of a pain in the butt, if not more of a pain in the butt, which I do agree with what Ian was saying earlier, of that being a weather issue, because we're a desert, right? We're a semi-arid desert here. These plants want it to be humid and moist soil, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to they're not cactuses.
The plow and the
so
that's cool.
So they and I water them, right? And people around me, they have gorgeous, beautiful ones, but I maybe don't water them as much as they want to be watered, because I'm not willing to have something. Okay.
On the butts.
I know that's good, Sam. We're almost done, and then we'll come and read books.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're just too fussy, and they don't fit with what we're doing, and the reality of it is they don't actually make us good money.
Yeah.
For us. Other people are I could only grow dahlias, and that would be how I make my money.
I could see in the future at some point, there's another flower farm that we're friendly with, and they have florists come shop them all the time, right? And so if you have florists shopping from you, then they're shopping for weddings, right?
Yeah.
And then if they're shopping for weddings, then they're looking for the
decadent, and they only have to last for a couple days.
Yeah, so then they can have the dinner plates, right? It's a totally different market, but we don't have that market yet. We did have a couple florists come grab stuff from us this year, and I imagine we'll have more next year. But it's not to that point yet where, if they're I need these, then we can reintroduce it.
I also think that there's enough flower farmers in the area that grow dahlias and do it well, that we don't need to do it,
Mhm.
right? I don't know.
I think that the kids are starting to get restless, so I need to go. Are you?
Well, here first, the one thing that I want you to finish, because I did want to talk about the dahlias with you here, because I wanted you, since you're the one who's obsessed with dahlias, I want you to let me know and like let everyone know how you feel about the fact that we're not really going to be doing dahlias next year, right? Because like you,
Okay, not myself.
Ian throughout the summer wasn't super into me talking about not doing them.
Well, I'm really excited about things in general.
Okay, what you're doing right now is rude and it's hard for Daddy to speak.
I'm excited in general for things next year because, we're investing again in so many more perennials and stuff. I think the farm's going to look great. We're going to open up that whole other side. It's going to look really good from the drone shots. It's just going to be missing the dinner plates. But, it's not even going to be missing them because I'm going to buy a bunch from the local nursery. And then,
I also we put an order in. There's 80 that we ordered.
Yeah.
We ordered 80 dahlias just for us. So, there's lots coming.
Next year is only 1 year, right? Just because we're cutting back on certain things next year doesn't mean that we can't bring them back again another year. So like what I told Serena is when we started talking about this, flower versus veggie, what do we grow next year thing. It's it doesn't matter if we cut things out next year for simplicity's sake, just so that we don't overwhelm ourselves. We can bring it back the year after, and nobody's going to be like, well, you know what? I'm not going to buy your dahlia bouquets from you anymore because you didn't grow dahlias the previous year. So, nobody's going to say that. People at the market, if we're growing food again after not growing it, they're going to be like, oh, look, this is what I want. I'm going to buy it again. Or look at these dahlias. They're beautiful. I want to buy them again. So it's just a year, right? We've already done 3 years of farming. Next year is just year 4, and then after that is year 5, right? It's only 1 year in the process, and we have at least 3 more years, right?
Well,
before all the wheels fall off.
I hope we have more than 3 years.
Okay,
Okay, I guess.
But
Okay.
I'm gonna step out now because I gotta go deal with the little ones. Do you want to say goodbye, Leah?
Bye.
Keep that tongue in your mouth, please.
And I'm gonna talk briefly about the dahlias.
Bye, everybody. It was nice seeing you again after a little break, and we're hoping to have another video, our vlog from our Thanksgiving weekend. We're hoping to have that out in a couple days or so.
Yeah, the only video where we're actually ahead of the ball when we put out our Thanksgiving video a month before American Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So that is there for everyone else's Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween?
Because Canadian Thanksgiving was 10 days ago.
Halloween?
I know. Leah's excited. Leah's been sewing her Halloween costume.
Keep
Yeah.
your tongue in your mouth. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Oh, it's hard.
Yeah, okay. So I see people really love the dahlias, right? And so I wanted to speak a little bit more to why I'm maybe more okay with getting rid of them than other people would be. Because it does, to me, the dahlias feel like they are like the tomatoes, and this is something that I was talking about in last week's video. The fact that tomatoes are so fun to grow here in our area. They're so fun to grow. Everyone grows them, but it's impossible to make money on them because there's so much labor involved. And the only way you can justify growing tomatoes is if you kind of ignore a lot of the work that you have to do for them. If you're just like, no, it's fine. I didn't spend 100 hours pruning them this year. And I kind of feel like dahlias are a little bit like that. They're you have to overwinter them. You have to dig them. You have to bury them. You have to divide them. There's the bugs, they get into them. I see people and they like put like little mesh bags over their dahlia flowers. And it makes sense if you're like selling these flowers for like $5 and you can pick at least one a week off of it, and so you get like 10 weeks of this like $5 stem. So, but even then, that's like only $50 from a single plant. Um, when I see people talk about their dahlias, it's hard for me to understand where they're making the money, except for if where they're making the money is in the tuber clumps. If they're doing like retail sales of the divided tuber clumps, and they have a really good system for overwintering their tubers. But for me here on the farm, we really struggle with overwintering them. For the life of me, I can't overwinter any of them. The only one that I've like been able to consistently have 50% success on, and even that's like being too generous. I'd say more like 30% success, and everything else I have like 5% success of overwintering. The only one is like fern clipped. Here, let's see, I can show it to you, because this is one of the ones I ordered two packs of dinner plate dahlias for Ian. Okay, so this is it. Like, I'm gonna cover my face here. This little white and purple one. It's a Ferncliff Illusions. That's the only one that I can overwinter, and it grows like this much tubers. It makes like 25 tubers. So it makes a lot in a year, so it's not as surprising that I'm able to get one of them to survive. So for me, it's not like I'm making by buying a dahlia tuber, I'm making a smart long-term investment. The dahlias, I can't overwinter them. And part of the issue is we're so dry here, and we're so dry in the winter that you have to do all these things so that the tubers don't rot. But the issue is that here they dry out, right? So if I do all these things so that they don't rot, they dry up into a crisp, and they're no good. And there's only so many things I can do for it to keep it from drying out that doesn't then lead to it going moldy. And so this winter, I am going to try to overwinter a few of my tubers. But what I'm going to do, which is I think like how you do it, this is like how the professionals do it, is I'm going to keep it in the fridge, right? And I think like a lot of the professionals, they use their floral coolers to store their dahlia tubers in the off season. And by doing that, you have this like temperature and humidity stable space, and it makes it a lot more simple. So I have a fridge that I have space in our outbuilding. I'm gonna save 2 totes, and I might actually like cut, break down the tubers so they like lay really tight in the bins instead of having the big clumps, so I can get as much as possible. And I'll just have them in this fridge, open it up every month, see if there's any that are going bad, pull them out and try to do it that way and see if I have better luck. But yeah, so I can't save the tubers, so that right there makes growing dahlias more difficult for me. And then also my plants. So what did I say? I planted 100. I think I had more. I think I had like 170 dahlias planted. So in theory, I should have an infinite number to keep to overwinter. I should fill my walk-in cooler with them. But my plants are so diseased, and not because the tubers came diseased. The tubers were fine, but we have so many grasshoppers, and like every single plant on my property, like I'm very limited even in what perennial flowers I want to grow, because we have grasshoppers everywhere, and they just infect everything with Astor's yellow disease. And so I suspect, I don't even know. I don't know if dahlias can get Astor's yellow, but they do not look good. Like, I have no interest in saving these plants because they're, they're diseased and they're unhappy, and they're most likely diseased with a virus that if I save the plant, it's just gonna, it's just gonna be in the tuber. It's just gonna come out already diseased. So there's no point working against myself by bothering to do the work to save them. I'll just, instead of digging them, I'll just till them into the ground. They can just be mulch. Yeah, so I already am dealing with conditions that make it hard to grow them. As I was saying before, the weather being so dry. And then the flip side to that is, and part of this is kind of goes hand in hand with part of the reason why I'm willing to do just flowers next year, which is, 3 years into playing with these flowers, I'm feeling pretty confident about growing the flowers and about arranging the flowers and what I'm putting together being something that looks good, right? I have no training in flower arranging. Like, my first, like, I didn't grow cut flowers for myself before I grew cut flowers to sell for market. I just was like, these make sense. The money makes sense on flowers. So, it wasn't like I was someone who was bringing flowers into my home and working on arranging them and stuff. But so, 3 years into playing with the flowers, I feel like I know what I'm doing when it comes to arranging the flowers, and I feel confident that what I'm doing, even if I know a lot of what I do is not proper floristry. I don't even know what the word is. But I don't do things the way it's supposed to be done. But I'm at the point that I do know that what I'm doing intentionally, right? So, I'm confident and I'm intentional about the use of vegetables as cut flowers. I'm confident and intentional, in the flowers that I'm choosing and in the looks that I'm putting together. And I think that is maybe what is making some of the bouquets look so good this year, right? Sorry, just distracted. It's like, disappears for a second. Okay, the bouquets that I'm making, they don't necessarily look like what the other bouquets at the market are, and they definitely don't look like what you would buy from a florist, and they definitely don't necessarily look like what I see when I flip through on, when I'm looking at everyone's beautiful flowers on Instagram. I'm like, what I'm doing does not look like this. But it doesn't, but I want it to look like what it looks like. And part of the reason why I think that it looks that way is in my flower growing, I've been really focused on drought tolerant, heat and sun loving plants, right? Like, that's what I've been wanting to grow. I've been wanting to grow stuff that, really thrives in the area that I'm personally growing in. And like when I go through and I think of, especially because I was doing that order and it was like, oh, what are the things that I love more than anything that I want? And when I was going through there and I was like, oh, I have to have it. A lot of the stuff is stuff that I don't necessarily hear other people being overly passionate about. Like, I'm super passionate and super in love with the Euro. I love the Amaranth. There's a lot of these things that don't necessarily have the look of these, more formal flowers, right? More traditional flower arrangements. But I like it when they go together because I think that they suit where we are. I think that when I put the arrangements together, they're an excellent representation of a time and a specific place, right? And so I feel like the flowers that I'm doing and the flowers that I'm growing are maybe like more representative of what it means to have flowers in the Okanagan than what I could be doing if I was growing dahlias and if I was growing, like some of these more like softer, more, like the roses, right? Like just like all those classic, the classic wedding looks that you see all the time. To me, I see that and it just doesn't make as much sense to me when I look out and I look at how beautiful the Okanagan is. Like I'm passionate and I'm in love with the Okanagan. I love the look of the Okanagan. I love the summertime when I look across and it's the dead grass. I love just the brown desert coloring, and just the fact that things aren't these fleshy, right? It's things are maybe like harder. They're not these soft, fleshy, succulent looks that that a lot of these other flowers are. And so for me, I'm already I'm already committed to this look that is so different from the dahlias. And then when I do have the dahlias, I try to work with them. They're not super fun for me to work with because in the way that the stuff that I like, is hard for a traditional florist to work with because it's a hard contrast against all these fleshy stuff. When I have all this and we make this joke in some of the videos because Ian started teasing me about it, but he says that I make like brutalist floral design, and brutalism is like this hard gray concrete, like hard structure architecture, and it's just it's like what people think of like communist Russia, like just like it's horrible. And so he's always like, oh, you and your brutalist flowers, right? Because I'm like, oh yes, look how like hard and structured these are. It looks so amazing. And then when I take what I have put together and then I throw a dahlia into it, it's like, oh, well, that looks bad because the dahlia is like clashing against it. So yeah, that's like kind of where I'm at, that I don't feel like I have to have that, because I feel like in the same way that we're saying we want to focus in on doing just a couple things right? We've done so much of everything. We've learned what doesn't work. We've learned what does work, and so, going into year 4, we're instead of just slowly narrowing out what doesn't work, which is kind of what we've been doing in the past, we're like going super narrow, right? We're just going to do the flowers. We're just going to, and I'm kind of saying to Ian, I'm like, I don't want to grow what people grow for florists. I want to just keep with the bright colors that we grow, because and if florists want that, we'll provide that to them. But there's no reason for us to try to grow a million blush colored flowers, which is really hard for us to sell at the market, and is totally different from what we've been doing, just to then try to compete with all the other flower farmers around us who are already growing blush flowers and selling them to florists. Maybe I'm just going to grow brights, and then I'll be a great resource for florists who need brights, right? Because you always need some of that. And if no one else is growing it, then I'm the local source for brights. So I'm okay in the fact that we're narrowing in super tight on the flowers, to also yet again be like, I know I can do this and I can do this well. It's proved to work. So let's keep doing that, rather than focusing in on flowers and then just making flowers itself overwhelming. So that's my backstory rant about why we're not doing dahlias and why it's okay that we're not doing dahlias. And like Ian said, you know what, if we do the flower farm for next year and it's like, oh my god, we had no idea, now that we're only a flower farm, we're having success that we never expected, so many opportunities for our farm to expand and improve in just flowers, we can grow dahlias next year, right? There's nothing that's set in stone with farming. all I need to do is plan a couple months in advance, right? I could plant out my entire field and, you know, end of June decide I want to do something different and still have the ability to change my mind. You know, farming is very flexible. You know, as long as I just keep some, as long as there's roots in the ground and I keep the weeds out of my farm, anything that I grow that fails and doesn't work is a very short-term failure. And it's very easy to change what I do and to, you know, and to go for what we think will work for the best. So that's that. And then I probably should be wrapping up. Okay, so a big apology. You know, I was like, oh, maybe I'll talk about this. I was saying to you, and I was like, oh, I'll talk about like the perennials. Like I was saying I was going to talk about it, you know, like I just shot through them, so it's like fresh in my mind. I was like, I'm just gonna schedule it, and I forgot to schedule it. I only scheduled this video like at noon during lunch or something. And he was like, yeah, I'm busy, so like that works perfect. And then he was like, no, I want to hang out, and you know, it just gets unorganized because we're trying not to do the 2-hour live videos, and I'm definitely gonna need 45 minutes to talk perennials with you guys, but we're gonna do that next week. Yeah, and so for videos, we're currently working on a video. So probably like 2 days from now, the video will come out. We need it to come out before Friday because we need to be working. Yeah, and there is also lots of exciting stuff coming up on the farm that we want to be sharing with you guys in videos. We still have 2 more farmers markets that we're going to be doing, and so we definitely want to do videos about that. And then we have our garlic here, so we'll probably do a video about planting garlic. And we also have our tulip bulbs that showed up, and I bought like 5,000 or something crazy. So I think maybe I'll have to I'll make a standalone video that I'll just kind of get out separate from the vlogs of maybe just sharing all the tulips that I have coming, because it's going to be really exciting for spring with all that. But yeah, we have lots of videos planned. You know, we still have all the dried flower stuff that we have coming up, so lots of exciting things, and the seeds are going to start rolling in soon. So we're also going to be getting into the time of year when we are talking about the seeds that we're going to buy, and we're going to obviously have lots and lots of content about flower seeds that we're going to buy because I'm going to be buying lots of flower seeds. But I also have veggie seed shopping content that I am going to be putting together for you guys because I ran a few experiments this year, right? Like I did like a test on growing sweet peppers and stuff like that. So there's a handful of veggie standalone specific videos that I want to put together kind of over the next little bit for everyone. So yeah, lots of stuff. We're getting back to it. We need to get back to making these videos. But thank you so much, guys. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll see you guys next week. Okay, bye now.